Today we'll be working on dividing polynomials by using synthetic division. This will be guided practice, which means you will be given the chance to work out some problems on your own. So first we're going to start. The rules of synthetic division are going to be to look at our coefficients and to make sure that they're in order, and we look at our exponents. So we have x cubed, x squared, x, and then a coefficient. In this case, we don't have any missing terms, so we're going to have no zeros. Next, we're going to make a table. Inside the table are going to be these coefficients: 4, -3, -8, and -4. So 4, -3, -8, and -4. Then what goes on the outside is we're going to take our denominator and we're going to set it equal to 0. So we're going to go ahead and add 2 to both sides. And we have x is equal to 2. So we're going to divide when x is equal to 2. The first step is always going to be to bring that first term down. So we have a 4. Now we take the number that we brought down and we multiply it by the number on the outside. So 4 times 2 is going to be 8 on the inside. Now go ahead and add these two numbers together. -3 plus 8, you're going to get a positive 5. Now again, 5 multiplied by 2, you get 10. Okay? Add these two numbers together, -8 plus 10, and you get 2. Okay? Multiply with the number on the outside. 2 times 2 is a positive 4. Add these together and you get 0. Your last number is always your remainder. In this case, we don't have a remainder. And if we don't have a remainder, then x minus 2 is a linear factor of this cubic graph. Okay? So now these are my coefficients to my answer, but we're going to start 1 degree lower than we started with. So we started with x cubed, but because we were dividing by an x, we get 4x squared plus 5x plus 2, and there is no remainder. This is my final answer for dividing these two terms. Okay, so again, here are my coefficients to my answer, and I start 1 degree lower, so when x squared, x, and then my constant does not have an x. So here's example 1. Now I want you to try practice 1 on your own. So go ahead and pause this video here and try this problem on your own. Okay, go ahead and check your work. We put our coefficients on the inside of the box, and we put a -2 on the outside. Always bring down the first number, multiply, add together, multiply, add together, multiply, add together, and this is always my remainder. So if it has a remainder, is it a linear factor? No, if it has a remainder, it is not a linear factor. Okay. Let's go and try that again, and this time we're going to have a missing term. When I look at my numbers, I have 2x cubed. Next is supposed to be x squared, but I don't have any. So when I make my box, I have 2x cubed, I have 0x squared, -5x, and then -7. What goes on the outside is you take your divisor or your denominator and you set it equal to 0. And so you have a 2 on the outside. Okay, so the biggest change here was to make sure that you have a number for every place value starting with x cubed, x squared, x, and then the number. So bring down your first term, multiply with the number on the outside. Add those together, multiply with the number on the outside. Add those together, multiply with the number on the outside, and add them together, and your last number is always your remainder. So I have 2x squared because we still start with 1 lower, okay? So 2x squared plus 4x plus 3 plus -1 over x minus 2. And since there's a remainder, this is not a linear factor. So go ahead and try the second one on your own. But I'm going to ask you real quick, is there a missing variable? And if so, where is it? It's actually missing the x variable. So when you work on this problem, make sure that you put a 0 as a placeholder. Go ahead and pause this video and try working out this problem. Okay, go ahead and check your work. So notice where my 0 went. My 0 went here was x cubed, x squared. This was x. And I didn't have 1 here, so I had to put the 0. Remember, always bring down the first number, multiply. Add these together, multiply. Add these together, multiply, add these together, and the last number is always your remainder. So think about it. Is x minus 1 a linear factor? The answer is no, because there is a remainder. And if there's a remainder, there is not a linear factor. So we're going to do a couple that look a little bit different, okay? So on this problem, again, we're going to check for all of our coefficients, x cubed, x squared, x, and then the number. So I do not have any zeros. And because they said divide it by the indicated value of x, it's already solved for x. So this is the number that goes on the outside. So again, inside your box is the coefficients. And we don't have any zeros because we already checked all of our terms. And we're going to put a -3 on the outside since that's what it gave us. So bring down your first number, multiply by the number on the outside. Add those together, multiply by the number on the outside. Add these together, multiply by the number on the outside. Add those together, and this is your remainder, always your remainder. So I'm going to start, these are my coefficients. I'm going to start 1 degree lower. So 2x squared minus 2x plus 3. And then my remainder goes on top. Now, what goes on your denominator? So we know that x equals -3. But my denominator needs to be set equal to 0. So how do I move that 3 to the other side? I add 3 to both sides to get it equal to 0. So my denominator is really x plus 3. So this would not be a linear factor. So go ahead and try number 3 on your own. Pause the video here. Okay, check your work. We didn't have any zeros again because I had a value x cubed, x squared, x, and then my constant. So these are my coefficients. And it gave me my indicated value, so that's the number that went on the outside. Always bring down your first number, multiply, and it goes here. Add these together, multiply, it goes here. Add these together, multiply, and it goes here. Add these together, and that's your remainder. Now, the part right here is where I worry that people will make mistakes, because this time they gave us the indicated value. But remember, what goes on the denominator is when x was equal to 0. So I had to move this 5 over. 5 minus 5 was 0, and on this side I have x minus 5, and that was my denominator. So here we have some more questions that you can practice on your own, and we'll go ahead and do them one at a time. So go ahead and pause this video and try number 4 on your own. Okay, go ahead and check your work on that one and see how you did on it. Now, I'm not going to explain these ones, it's just for you to practice. So go ahead and pause this video and try number 5 on your own. Okay, I got some pretty ugly numbers here. My remainder was 1090 and divided by x plus 7. Check your work and see how you did. Okay, let's go ahead and practice number 7. Pause this video here. Okay, now you can check how you did on that one. I got another remainder, so this was not a linear factor. Now our last one for the day is go ahead and pause this video and you can try one more on your own. Okay, go ahead and check your work there. I had a remainder of 118, and none of these practice ones were linear factors since I had remainders on all of them. So hopefully this video helped you practice some of your synthetic division and see if you actually did know how to do it. And have a great day.